Hey, you guys! I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing a session today for Alexis, and this is going to be a soul rebirth journey. And Alexis has shared some super cool things with me about her life experience. And it's hard to we don't really know what exactly to explore specifically. So I'm just gonna go as guided by spirit. So for an hour we're gonna get to know Alexis today and her energy patterns, and then Alexis, I'm gonna do what I usually do, and I'm gonna bring you into an energetic balance and a higher awareness and perspective of your awesome self. Okay, so I'm gonna relax here and get connected. And for those of you who aren't familiar with my YouTube channel, this is an actual real distance spiritual healing session. And I'm recording it right now. And then Alexis is not on the other side of this. I'm doing it as a distance session and recording it. And then I'm basically going to be connecting with Alexis's spiritual atmosphere and then feeling out her energy patterns and then sharing messages as they come. So I'm going to go ahead, just saying that, I'm going to go ahead and get connected here. All right, so the first thing I'm experiencing here, Alexis, is it's a big old tunnel. It's huge. And I can even hear the sound of like a swishy noise. And it's black and white, literally. It's black is the base color, and then there's white streaks, and it's going round and round and round and round and round in a circle, and it creates like a coil. But it's not, I mean, it's the same size all the way through. It's a total tunnel. It's not like it has like a vortex way down there. It's just the same size all the way through. So and it's really loud. It's really, really loud. So I'm just sort of standing, this little person, in this like enormous tunnel and this swooshy noise. And so I'm just standing and I'm observing and experiencing what this means to me. Okay, so all right, this is so there's a little bit of sadness happening through here, and there's some really tight, jarring collar going on. It's really too tight, and it's distorting my mental body. I feel like this swishy thing is sort of like in a third eye location. It's like in the mental body, and it's swooshing around and 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 around. That's what it's like. And this is really like the collar is too tight. I couldn't even get my fingers in there to try and like give myself a little bit more breathing room or something. Okay, this is going to get more and more and more intense, all right? Because you got a lot of energy in your mental body, and so the noise is just like, let's just turn up the volume. I was like, oh my god, my head's gonna explode. So it's gonna get a little bit more intense here. That's because we're choosing to say, okay, what's my energy balance like? And then your energy consciousness, which is so infinite, says, okay, the loudest thing, step forward and let's take a look at it. So it could get very, very loud and louder and louder and louder still, because that's how it feels about itself. And it says, I don't know if this is correct. Should it be this loud? And I say, okay, well, let me take a look. And then we'll bring it into an energetic harmony, okay? And it isn't supposed to be this loud, just so you know. This is almost deafeningly loud in your mental body, okay? So it's still very loud. I'm going to chill out for a minute, and I'm going to keep experiencing it. This doesn't hurt me. It's just I'm experiencing it. So I'm part of your soul right now, so I'm like sort of in this state here. So I'm just going to keep experiencing it. Okay. It's gonna be a raw moment because you're already shifting and showing me rainbows and happy things, and I'm like, hey, whoa, I still need to experience the swoosh. I need to experience this. So let's not go changing the subject. Your consciousness is wanting to show me something else now, but like we need to focus on what hurts here, not change the subject. So that's like an ego mechanism. It doesn't want to be too like exposed, Don't heal this exposed thing, because then I'll have to evaluate myself and I might not like what I see. So why don't we look at rainbows now? No, we're gonna look at this. Let's see. All right, there's a lot of pain associated with this thing. And it is really attached to your head. And I mean, there's so much, there's a lot of sadness. And sadness, is something usually we feel in our stomachs or in our hearts. But your sadness goes from stomach heart area and it goes up and it gets lodged in the throat and then it gets stuck in the head too. So you have a lot of like, your energy bodies are really balanced in sort of the shoulders up. So like really in the throat and in the head. So we're just going to keep experiencing this. Man, you feel like you did something wrong. Like you feel like you did something really, 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 really bad. You're actually like this right now. I did something really, 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 really bad. That's how you're doing it. That's how you're saying it to me, and that's what you're like right now. And it's all associated with this energy thing. It overwhelms you, and you're at the edge of something. And this is a big old tunnel. Gosh, this is very energetically intense. It's almost difficult to speak through it because it's like my head right now feels like swoosh noise, and then like I'm being tumbled through a washing machine. That's kind of, but it's very smooth. It's very smooth, but I'm going around and around and around and around. But I'm at the edge of something, and then this big thing. I mean, this thing is like the size of a planet as a tunnel, and I'm sort of on the edge of something, and I'm looking at it like the edge of the universe, something crazy like that. But I'm like a little child, and I'm crying into my hands, and I'm saying this. So we're gonna keep looking at this here. You see why we don't want to just go switch directions and look at rainbows? We got to stay in the zone here and focus on this all the way through. Man, this is creating a severe headache experience because this has got to get reconciled. This thing has got to get reconciled. Your throat and your head are both really like tightly connected here about this. And you did something wrong is what you say. Do I believe that is true? It doesn't matter what I believe. It simply is what you believe, right? So I got to find out what it is that you did. And then we got to understand that there is no truly, I mean, as some of the extreme things people do, I would definitely say that isn't cool, And in that way, if it's not cool, you kind of did something not cool there, not right. Definitely was kind of the wrong thing to do, right? So I do feel that way as a human being, but in the spirit realm, there really is no right and wrong. There only is experience, right? As human beings, we feel there is a right and a wrong. You hurt my feelings. You told me the truth and that hurt my feelings and now I hate you. So is telling the truth the wrong thing? But how you're reconciling it, there's so many different ways we could perceive right and wrong. And so truly there is no right and wrong. It's just how you experience that experience. So I'm telling your little child consciousness that there's really no right or wrong. And so you really didn't do anything wrong in that way because there's really no right or wrong. It's just an experience. So can you help me to understand the experience that you're attaching yourself to, that you're saying you did a wrong thing? Can you help me understand? All right. So she's kind of conflicted. She's she doesn't show me her dark side, but she has one. And it's kind of cut, so it's in pain. And her dark side is kind of like, let's say you took a string cheese, all right, and then you put it in your hand with a little knife, and then you just cut just at the top, try to make it as straight and in the middle as possible. That's kind of what this is like. It's cut straight down the middle, but it didn't cut all the way, and I'm cut in pieces. I'm like cut into two pieces, but I don't want to acknowledge that. And then I don't, and I just want to see the rainbows, and I just want to show you the rainbows. But you have a dark side that we need to face the dark side of you. And it hurts. It actually is kind of, your string cheese is kind of like cut in the center, like right where your head would be. And then you got your head is in two pieces, kind of fluffing off to the side, like on both sides. So this, we need to reconcile this. It's going to make you feel so much better. Okay. Okay. I can't. Okay. So you are listening. You're a very good listener. You are contemplating if you are ready for this or not. You do understand what I'm saying. It almost feels like you are waiting for me. like you know me, to come to you. Actually, you're waiting for my higher self, like for me specifically in the infinite universe, to come to you. And if I and when the day came that Abbey, this part of an infinite universe that is myself, would come to help you with this, then you would know that it was the right time, that it was the divine time, and that you would do it. But if anybody else came, it wouldn't happen. You're very specific. I will wait for Abbey to come, and then when Abbey comes, this will be reconciled. But until then, it won't be reconciled. So that's what you're saying, actually saying that to me right now. It's like, wow, that makes me feel really special. You didn't want like Archangel Michael or somebody else. Like you were specifically asking for me. So I was like, okay, cool. I'm here. I'm in on this. Okay. You that's something cool about you. You seem to you have like a something about very specific individualized connections. And you could go into that individualized thread and you could study it, all the intonations, all the meaning, all of the wisdom, all of the everything. And you really like love individualized connections. Is there something very specific and very special about it? So this is fascinating for me because a part of the universal consciousness that I'm exploring right now in my own soul journey is the relationship between being the individualized human, the soul, the individual soul. But I really am God. Like we're all, we put us all together and then we create God, right? So we're all God, come to hang out with God. Like, so basically the entire world, 8 billion people, is all God talking to God and all of God's different, amazing personalities, annoying ones and laughter ones. And, I want to kill myself ones and, all of them. God is communicating and everybody and everything. And we are God, but we feel separate and we feel individualized. And so I'm exploring the individualized experience and the oneness and the fact that I'm part of everything. And so this here is fascinating because I kind of am this way in my own right, is I like to explore just one thing. And then I want to just know as much as I can about that one thing and become like a master of that one thing. But if I'm connected to everything, but I can't as a human being be everything because it's just too much. So if I could just connect with this just one thing, what's really funny about this conversation? And this is also like you could talk on and on and on and on and on and on and on. So in a way, I'm doing what you're doing. So in a way you're obsessed with this and helping me to understand what this means so I can tell you what this means. And then it's sort of like, and then the Abbey clicks and it's like, why are we getting off on a tangent here? Because we need to focus. We have like a serious thing happening here and we need to focus on that and not get distracted. You're distracting me, but we're also learning about you in this distraction, which is pretty cool. I'm also a one-track mind person because if I multitask, I'll never really get to know the meaning and the most specialness of those individual experiences. So if I want to write, for instance, I need to just write and I can't hear music. I don't want to hear anything. I just want to experience, be fully engaged in this moment, right? And I don't want to be on a phone call while I'm also typing and then the music's going. Like, I don't want that. I want to be fully immersed and engaged in this one thing. That's just the way I am. But you're kind of something similar about that in you too. But you're like way too distracted, which is just like you like an individualized thing, but you could get off onto tangents, exploring so many different things, different ideas, different meanings. But we need to like bring it on back home and get back to what is it that you did wrong. We gotta focus in on this. Now I know that you've got these vulnerabilities. Distraction is a vulnerability because it's preventing you from just being grounded in the one thing that you need to focus on right now, but you're pushing it away. It's the one thing you need to focus on. Let's look at rainbows. Let's talk about other stuff I like. No, we're going to look at this. So I'm going to get back to you, and I'm going to try not to get into your little distraction realms. Let's see. Okay, there's something really dense about it. I'm basically looking at you, and this isn't going to cough up all that easily, all right? The Heimlich maneuver is not going to simply release this from your throat, all right? And the Swiss cheese or the string cheese sort of event going on here, you really don't want me to explore your dark side. You do, but again, it's sort of like, if Abbey can come to do this, then I will do it. But now I'm going to distract her and talk about all these other things because I am just too afraid to look at this. And it's like, no, you're not. We're going to do it together. So you're not looking at it by yourself. You're looking at it with me. Oh, man. You have to look at this. I can't just do this for you. You have to do this too. I mean, you got to look at this. Really concentrating on the child and the energetic frequencies going on with her. All the images that are defining the balance. And I'm going into them so that we can see what is in them. But you have a serious padlock on this. Like, we're talking, like, you created like a, yes, I want you to look. And I'm like, well, there's a serious padlock here and a lot of distractions, and you really don't want me to look. So do you want me to look or do you not want me to look? Because you need to unlock this. You need to say, I'm ready now. I'm going to have you unlock it. I want to have you personally unlock this. I'm going to have your deeper conscious come forward and unlock this. All right, I'm going to have your dark side come forward and unlock this. I'm going to cut the string cheese all the way through. You are sort of like, we're going to have to explore a little bit of painful imagery, all right, to get through this, okay? So I'm actually going to take the knife and I'm going to cut you into 2 pieces. And we're going to take your dark side, the part of you that you don't want to face, and we're going to have you face it right now. And the dark side is going to be the one that's going to open up this padlock. And no more fun and games here. So let's see. All right, your dark side's really old, and that not like, you know, in the nursing home. We're talking like ancient and tired, actually. Fascinates me how souls could possibly be tired, but I do come across this. I mean, you're dusty, you're old, you're black. You're sad. You're dried up. You're kind of misunderstood and in a way forgotten as well. Because you just want to be all rosy and healed and healthy and happy. And you're a master. You're more than you know, the candy store experience. You're raw, man. You're raw. And I'm not necessarily saying Ra, the Egyptian god. I'm saying Ra, R-A-W. Like, you're real. And you, in order to become real, truly, really you gotta be raw. You gotta be your raw side, which is both bubble gums and lollipops and this ancient expression. All right? This is a big deal because this is not actually who you are. Lollipops and bubble gum and gumdrops. This is who you are. Old Dusty is actually who you are. And I need to bring this to life. It's like a deflated balloon that got left on an old sticky floor, and it got sticky and dusty and gross and forgotten about and meaningless and tired. It's not even speaking right now because it's in an odd state of like a distance, I suppose, and sleep in a way. You're watching, you're seeing this happening here. And your mental body is a little bit distraught right now. All eyes are on this. It's very energetically intense. Okay, so there's a horrifying screaming happening in the back of your head. That's what's happening right now. And it's related to the crying child and the thing you did wrong, but also the realization of what you did to yourself. This part of yourself, is it really the dark side of you, or was it the light side of you that you destroyed and you transformed it into this? And the dark side of you is really the lollipops and cupcakes and stuff, is actually the dark side of you, the most defiling, messed up side of you, because it's pretending to be something that it's not. But why can't it be that too? Why can't it be that too if we are everything? And why can't good things be bad things and bad things be good things sometimes? People say candy is tasty, it makes it good, right? But candy is full of sugar, it makes it bad, right? So we're still exploring for your deeper consciousness what is truly good or bad, what is right or wrong in this universe. Because you still aren't budging on opening this to see what happened exactly. So I'm still having to go through the layers of this riddle that you've created, okay? But we're getting closer. And this is what we're looking at right now. All right, okay, we're breaking through yet another layer, and this is, man, it is like burning the back of my head here, because it hurts really bad, and the screaming isn't necessarily there, but I mean, this hurts here in the back of the head. And man, you have an overload going on in your mental body. Like, probably, like, I know people's mental bodies are usually revved up and at the forefront, but yours is carrying a lot of weight, and your throat is too. And you're not working with your heart and your emotional gut as often as I would expect that this experience would have a little bit more heart and emotional gut involvement, but it's all centered in throat and head, which is peculiar and interesting. Let's see what happens if I take everything we've seen thus far, and let's say I move it all into your heart, okay? And so I'm going to take it out of your head and your throat, and I'm going to take all this junk here that we've seen, which is also fascinating and interesting in you, and we're going to put it in your heart, so your heart and your wisest essence can process it. All right, dark side is now you're still playing mind games. So your eyes are really pissed off that I just did that. And it's like more puppets to play here. Not to say that anything I've explored and expressed as wisdom is not wisdom, because it actually is wisdom and for you to contemplate. But now we're in a new layer, and this layer is pissed. And it doesn't like the fact that I moved all this information out of your head and into your heart. I'm changing up the game. So one thing you need to do is try to figure out. All right, let me just keep examining this before I say what my thought is. I'm just gonna say it. Something about honesty. Imagine if a part of yourself is Loki, and you like to play games with people, which is really playing games with yourself, but somehow in the end you always win. Somehow Loki somehow always wins, right? And so you yourself is also like a Loki. And you're tricking yourself as well as tricking everybody else, but you also somehow win and other people win too, and we don't know how this happens. But there's something about who are you then, and what is the most honest essence of yourself look like? Is Loki then the most honest essence of himself? But there's something that this behavior is preventing you from accessing more concrete perspectives. All right. You have very interesting, everybody does. Everybody has interesting ways that they're energetically communicating, because we're all extremely different. We all are. But sometimes there's a lot of similarities. Like a lot of people can fit into pockets of similarities. For instance, a lot of people have energy jams interconnected between mental, body, heart, and stomach. But that doesn't mean that's the only way that it goes. It goes all over the place. But you definitely have a tricksy nature, and you even trick yourself. And you resist what you need to be doing. And you say that you should be doing all these other things because you're part of all these other things. But you won't do the one thing that we need you to do, which is to figure out what it is that you did wrong. See, we're still doing this. We're still doing that. That's you. That's you right now. This is you in a nutshell, which is actually kind of fun. Okay, so let's see what else we can figure out here. All right, so I'm really trying to instigate your dark, so I'm going to try and piss you off a little bit. Because we need to wake some energies up that need to be proactive here, because we're working with too many illusions. Okay, illusions that create identity, and they do then create identity, but I want to get the illusions out of here so I can actually know who you are, because I think one of the biggest questions for you is, who am I? And you're full of illusions, and you work with illusions a lot, and that's actually makes you very powerful. But it also doesn't help us get to your raw nature. Your nature is working with illusions, but it's not in balance. You're not working in a balance, energetic balance with this. So let's see. Okay. A lot of really intense energy going on here. Again, around the throat and the head. Heart is starting to wake up, just so you know, because heart is like, is there something in my mouth? Did I just digest something? And I was like, yes, I put a bunch of stuff in you, heart, and I need your perspective on this. And heart's like, oh, heart's sort of like yawning and stretching. And I was like, yeah, what is going on here? Now, mental body, again, is like your primary location of all your infinite energy, which is so weird. Should be in your heart. Anyway, you got a big old, like, ball. I mean, it's not necessarily big. It's a sphere. And it's in the center of it all. And I don't know, it's like sort of purpley blue and white. And I'm just going to go silvery. I'm just going to go towards it here. I'm going to let heart continue to wake up and try to figure out what is going on. Heart needs some time, so I'm just going to go in towards the third eye and the swish. It's in the inside of the tunnel. And this swish is actually kind of closing up a little bit, okay? And this ball is still in there. It's sort of like a spider web in white and black. And then this ball is sort of turning into more of like a bird's nest now. And this is sort of like an egg in a bird's nest. But it's like more like a marble. Oh, gosh. Boy, do you have some intense movements going on here. Okay, a lot of anger, but you won't let me hear you scream on this round. Soul stretch there. All right, what are you hiding from yourself? Let's take a look at this. I'm going to have you be the bird's nest and this little marble. And I'm going to ask, how does it make you feel? You want to puke as I'm going to bring in old Dusty. I mean, that's what it's like. Your dark side is like dusty and dry and black and non-functioning. Not even I mean, I could put some electrical energy in there and see if I can recharge the batteries, but for right now, that's what it is. And I'm gonna bring this, bringing in old Dusty in here, and then we're having a reaction here, feeling like we're gonna puke. And it's like, the only way to figure this out is to bring in the ingredients you're giving me and see how you energetically react to them. I'm going to bring in the lollipops and gumdrops. I'm going to bring that in here and see what it does. No, that's not a good idea. I gotta throw that out. It disorients everybody. So that's not in there. Now we're starting to feel a raw meaning again. The lollipops and gumdrops disorients everybody. It's like too much or something. But when we just keep it as the bird's nest, the marble, and this dried up emanation, and then it starts to feel raw, R-A-W. For whatever reason, I'm supposed to articulate it as this to you. It'll have that kind of meaning, the right meaning that you need. Raw. You need raw meaning. It's just creating raw meaning, and you don't feel that sick to your stomach anymore. Which means your energy is starting to process in your heart, and your stomach is starting to participate as well. Because you should be processing energy in every one of your energy bodies, okay? And then as you continue to process energy, you can actually start to move the energetic processing into the heart portal. So the heart portal is the heart center of your universe. And so everything is processing in the heart. But like your main processors are your mind and your throat, which is very unusual. So now heart's starting to wake up, and the emotional gut's starting to wake up with the heart too. That pukey feeling is not there, and it's starting to feel more meaningful right now. I'm just going to disappear lollipops and gumdrops. It doesn't exist anymore. So we're going to take raw meaning and we're going to put it into the heart, okay? And I'm just going to kind of tap on stomach and wave and say, hi, stomach, I notice you're waking up now too. So if you want to join heart at all to process some of this and emotionally or anything, you're more than welcome, because we could use your feedback. And let's see. Okay. Another snarling anger here. It's not even a venting anger. Usually it's a venting anger. This is like, I'm going to kill you. It's not venting like it was pent up. It's more like, I'm going to kill you, Abbey. Like, no, okay. But this is still good because we're making changes in your energy balance. I can even feel you starting to get more grounded and feeling more in your body, okay? I don't necessarily believe you aren't in your body, but you're not actively working with other parts of yourself that you need to be working with to create alignment and balance, okay? Okay. Everything is quiet. It's like a miracle. I'm not hearing that loud swooshy noise anymore. I mean, it's like a miracle. I'm hearing pure silence. And it's glistening. It's immaculate. And it's me. Heart is more awake now. Stomach is more awake. mental body and throat are kind of in an odd, stunned daze, but they're feeling good. And the glistening silence as the first thing we could identify as you. I mean, it's the most positive identity of you we've come across so far. Okay, it's like the most healing part of your identity. It's the most raw. All right, it's the most true. It's the purest, without illusion. And perhaps Loki's purest form of identity is silence. This makes you cry. There is this glistening in the silence. It's a light, and it's a rippling, beautiful light. It's crystal-esque. It's diamond-esque, but it's like water, light on glistening on the water as well. And the silence is so pure, you're naturally gravitating to the light, okay? And you are as fluid in motion as like pure silence itself. If pure silence was water, this would be the best way I could define your essence. Water and pure silence and glistening light. And it's your heart portal, actually. It's the heart of you. You're starting to cry, and you say, I didn't know. And you're confused because you're in a puppet. You call your human form a puppet or a doll. And you animate that doll. And you work with all the aspects of the animated doll, but you don't. But you're a little bit. There's something about a dumbfoundedness that you weren't aware of this. Because you were in the animated puppet and you forgot, or you didn't know how to be that. You didn't know how to merge that. Something of this kind. You kind of, let's just throw it out there, just an idea here, but your soul sort of wanted to know what it was like to animate the puppet, the human puppet doll. And you find it to be, there's a jokey, hokey side of you, like a Loki, funny jokester side. And you wanted to play a prank, and it was to be funny. I'm going to be one of those funny puppet humans. And so you became a funny puppet human, but you're still so Loki-like in how you can access like insane amounts of pockets of perspective and distraction and illusion, and also very specific focus at simultaneously. And you're working with all of this, but yet you don't know that you're like a fluid silence. And glistening light was the one thing you never were working with. And I say, well, you make a pathetic Loki if you couldn't work with that pocket. Come on now, Loki. You could work with all the other pockets, but this one? Come on. Mastermind. I'm poking fun at you. I don't know why, but I feel like I need to be giving you a much harder time. I'm not sure why, but there's this like really this element of like severe disappointment developing here, and I don't know. It's coming from my soul. Feels like it's coming like my soul is like just disappointed in your soul for some reason. I don't know that I feel that's true. I don't feel that that's necessarily true, but let's just go with it and just see what it means. Okay, see if we can find some meaning in this. It has to do with. Okay, I'm gonna keep looking through this so I can pinpoint a little bit better. Okay. This is interesting. So the more that I look at this, the more that I start to hear the Loki side of you is creating echoes of sounds. So you threw this echo of sound of disappointment because you're disappointed in yourself, but you threw the sound into my heart so I would hear it, and then I would define myself as disappointed in you. So I would take the blame for what you can't blame yourself for. So you're actually disappointed in yourself. I'm not disappointed in you at all. So there you go. There's more of your Loki nature at work here. And all you need to do is just get in tune with the one thing you don't want to be connected to. So when I get more into the heart of you, I see you as like you have multi-dimensional arms, and you're like wow, but like a squid basically. But you're like a round ball, and you have arms going and like around the center of the ball, and they go all over the place, and they're black. And so I'm just looking at this reflection of yourself. None of this, by the way, is negative. All of this is what makes you like mind-blowingly awesome, because you're not an average Joe, and this is what makes you special. And what I'm doing is I'm working with all your frequencies to bring them into self-awareness. And as I bring them into self-awareness, you're going to feel way more grounded and able to work with your infinite awesomeness better than ever before, okay? Because you're going to be able to perceive it better while you're in the human puppet doll. So let's go and see what this thing is. All right. I'm going to stop for a moment. I'm just looking at it. It's kind of lifeless looking. But I'm going to go and I'm going to put this image in the palm of my hands, and I want to just see the bigger picture, because you like to play mind games. So let me see here. I'm going to pop the bigger picture, and we're going to get rid of everything because it's all part of your illusion games again. So let's just go ahead. This is actually real idea, okay, of your reflection, but it's also interconnected with the mind game side of yourself. So you'll never really know who you truly are until you go into the silence, because that's really your true nature. So any other ideas are just crafty creativity, and are gonna make your life very interesting, and it's gonna make life fun and challenging. But we need to get into your like true essence, okay? Otherwise, it's always going to be like that. What's the next illusion that I can create as my reality and have fun with it? So that actually is pretty cool that you can do that. So I'm going to pop this illusion here. And I'm just going to keep popping as many illusions as I can so you can actually be in serenity, okay? Boy, whenever I figure you out, you get really pissed off at me. You want to kill me. That's what your inner dark side feels like. It does. But it's funny because your dark side is like your light side. Your light side gone twisted. And that's really what a dark side is anyway. But dark sides can actually be so freaking wise and harmonious, and we can work with them to bring balance to anything we're going through. Light and dark sides are both very wise, and light sides are harmonizing, loving, and but we usually carry the brunt of the pain when things get out of balance. We'll just rip the shreds out of our light sides, and then the dark side becomes way out of balance, and the light side just keeps giving. Like, it's a total drama, But that's being human too. All right. I'm not allowed to just go to this twisted side yet, because there's just so many layers of blocks between me and that I have to clear out first. So all I can do is just keep going through your maze, all right? And by the way, this is not a common at all, and makes it a lot of fun for me, because I get to outsmart you. Not many people really feel the need to be so tricksy and complicated, and they don't do this. You do this. I only do this when there's something I have to get rid of, and I'm not ready to face it yet. So I'll put up like a huge circus charade that makes it impossible to even get back to this place until I'm ready to, because I gotta lock it up and throw it away in a way until it's time. And so, but you're doing this as like the everyday reality. It's just so. Why are you doing it? To make it interesting? Are you bored or something? Let me see if your soul's bored. Let me see. No, I don't get to ask that question. All right, well, let's just keep going through the layers. All right, again, the sound of silence, the song, the disturbed song, Hello Darkness, my old friend, come to talk with you again. This song is playing. Obviously, Disturbed created the most modern version of it. Simon Garfunkel created the original. I like to make note of that. But I love the song either way, both ways. I think it's beautiful. And we need to go into your Hello Darkness, my old friend side of yourself. Sadness happening here. Shame. This is the most grounded response I've gotten from your spiritual atmosphere, other than the glistening silence. All right, we're going to go in here more because there's a lot of I hate you screaming in here, echoes of it. I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate myself, I hate you. So we get beneath the layer of the jokey Loki, and we get into another raw side of yourself, and the raw you hates yourself. So Loki too hates himself, huh? There's something about the parallels, but Loki is up more towards the surface. We're going to get rid of that because now we're even deeper than before. And the raw you in this image, in this part of your perspective, in this part of your totality, does not like yourself at all. I hate you. I say you're being way too hard on yourself. God. Wow. I mean, wow. Yeah. This is your soul right now having to come to terms with this space, okay? And a lot of energy in the mental body, which is okay here because that's actually there's a natural balance to the flow because the heart and the stomach and the throat are also tuned in here more than we've been able to experience before. There's a lot of tightness, okay? So there's a lot of hurt here. It's a lot of hurt, okay? So you're just processing through that. You say, I don't want to see it. I don't want to believe it. I don't want to know about it. That's not who I am. That's not me. So you're separating it from yourself. That goes over there. And we'll just, I don't know anything about that. La 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 la. Gobble gum, jump, go in the candy store. That's me. No, wait a second here. We're talking about raw you, okay? And if raw you feels this way, then let's understand why raw you feels this way without judgment. We don't need to change the subject. I think there's something special in the meaning here. All right, heart. Ugh. Okay, this might feel a lot of different ways here. Ugh. I mean, the heart feels like it's throwing up, not the stomach. That's what's so weird about this. A lot of emotional release here. It's like it's echoing forever. Spiteful words like "I hate you," "I'll never get out of this," "I can't break free." It just kind of, but it's echoing and bouncing off so many walls. And I'm gonna play at the I'm gonna play this harmony in here because this side of you is attracted to this song, very much so. I don't know that this is the healing song that the space needs, but there is healing in it for some reason. So let me just go ahead and I'm gonna play this song in this space, and I want to see how the space harmonizes with it. Okay. Takes you back to the silence and the glistening light, but it exhausts you. It makes you feel disconnected to the silence of the glistening light, which is pure love. It also disconnects you because it brings you into darkness or separation. And it's not chaotic. It's meaningful, but it's separated, and it's not attuned to the love that could nurture it. It cut itself into two pieces. It cut itself away from that light that was love. And it said, this love is more meaningful to me now. And I need to sew them back together again, basically. I gotta bring them back together so that the pure love, the glistening light, and the silence, the water silence, can nurture this. Because this here, this is a big pocket of suffering in your spiritual atmosphere. This is buried beneath the surface of all of this other stuff. And all of it is you. All of it is you. But we're bringing it into harmony so you can be all that you are in a balanced way, okay? And in a connected and open way, in a grounded way. And I don't really know how to teach anybody how to be grounded, but bringing your, more so than just bring your energy field into balance. Like, you got to keep bringing your energy field into balance. I mean, I think it's okay to get ungrounded. Sometimes you need to go out there too, because you got to shift your perspectives to learn more about yourself. But there's something about a new harmonization of your identity is going to bring new experiences. And I do feel very strongly that you have such, that your soul is so flippin' like creative, starved for more participation and more experiences, more dynamic ones. You could, I mean, you could stuff a bunch of different identities and ways of living, ways of feeling into one single lifetime, and it would be like you lived as 10 different people. I mean, you could do that. Because that would be interesting. That would be interesting to a Loki. I don't necessarily feel that you are Loki, but that's the only way I could describe some of your style of behavior. Not all of it, okay? Hello Darkness, my old friend, is not Loki. That is totally not Loki style. But it's another part of you, okay? Because you got a lot of parts of yourself. So I'm gonna go. I'm like holding my hands because I'm harmonizing this dark place, and I'm about here to pull the glistening light and love, pure love. We're gonna just pull that into here. Don't have to really stitch them together. I'm just gonna merge them. Okay, so I'm just pulling that into this space here. feels a lot better instantaneously, but I need to stay with it for a minute. All right, you're darker. The I don't even want to call it dark side. I don't know what you would call this, but it's hello darkness, my old friend side. And it's sort of like, a challenge. I'm going to be as depressed as I possibly can, and the pure light will not get through to me. You know, so you're actually going to challenge yourself to not feel love when the love is placed within you. Because that would be fun, right? That would be like a Loki style thing to do, is to outsmart the healing. Don't try to outsmart this healing, please. Just absorb it. Just let it be so you can learn about yourself in a new way. Otherwise, you're going to always be holding on to this old junk. And you'll just be the old you, you know? You don't want to be that. You want to be transformed, right? Reborn and having new experiences, because that's more interesting anyway. So I'm telling this side of yourself why it's more interesting to just let the love do its work, so you can know something more and experience something more. Okay. 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 It's not necessarily easy to do this, but I would say your upper gut and lower gut, your whole abdominal section. It's really associated with this whole region here. And I'm starting to open up a portal from lower to higher. Just opening it up so that way information can move fluidly through you, instead of like a ping pong ball machine, you know, like a pinball machine, you know, it's like no. Whoo, up and down, fluid motions of information. It works better that way. It really does. Otherwise, it gets crazy. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to keep focusing here. Because heart now, your whole energy body system, in which we would define as a chakra system, is all opening up, like blossoming here. And especially because we're opening everybody up, and we're saying it's okay to be, to work in balance and harmony with our energy bodies. Because you're kind of want to, you're like wanting to play games with your energy bodies and fuck up the system and turn it into a pinball machine and see what it could be like, because that's your Loki style. But there's something about the Om and the wise Buddha style that you'll find will also be beneficial too. I know life is more interesting as a pinball machine, but it also can be interesting as Buddha as well. I swear to God, it can be. And that's actually the real, when the harp is truly strung in tune, it's going to be like this. But that's not the only way to live life. Otherwise, we'd all be Buddha, right? So there's no right or wrong way to live. And it's actually kind of interesting if you want to live like Loki, you know? Kind of interesting. Still harmonizing this year. And the light feels good, actually. It feels like you just swallowed whatever that lodge was. It was like you just swallowing the light down. And it's just, but it's all digesting right now. And it's like, wow, you're kind of like, wow, nice. Beautiful, neat. It's soft and it's communicating in a soft, like, wow. Nice. Neat. It's really funny. It's like you see the fireworks and everybody's like, wow, cool. But you're like softly saying, wow, nice. Interesting. That's what you're like in your digestive region. They're like, it's funny. You're still processing it. I'm staying with it for a little bit longer. I still feel there's a little bit of heart work to do here, and a little bit of head work as well. And this, I mean, it's still a little bit uncomfortable in the back of my head. It's just, I mean, we're just opening all this stuff up today here. So I would say I've made mad progress, like super good progress. Let me see what this thing is in the heart, okay? Something to do with this marble. Because I moved all of that calamity, the bird's nest, and the marble, and old Dusty, and everybody. I moved it all in the heart, and the heart's like, yeah, what is this in my mouth? That's what your heart was like. I was like, I know, it's kind of weird, isn't it? But there's still something like this marble is still there, and the heart feels like it hurts. So let me see what we can do here. Wow, okay, so I'm going to take a part of your totality and I'm going to put the marble in the hand of your totality. That would be like your higher self or your higher selves or the infinite universe, that which is you. So, right. It's a memory. And in the palm of your hand, you crush it. And it turns into dust, the memory does, and the wind of the universe blows it away. And your eyes are glowing, and you look up. You show me somebody that has a bunch of seeds, and I don't know if they're feeding chickens or if they're actually planting seeds in this way by just throwing them out. It's like, but they're seeds and then they're being scattered, and so that's what they're showing me. I'm being shown this right now. All right, so we see what is like a harmonizing scene, and then we see the scene become like a kind of disturbed. All right, like, hello darkness, my old friend, disturbed. And literally the word disturbed, there's meaning to this, because it doesn't understand. There's a part of your consciousness that doesn't understand how things could be perfectly good and then stay perfectly good, and then but then what if it, and then at the same token be disturbed. So it's still confused as to how to be balanced between light and dark sides, so to speak. Because it shows me the one throwing out the grains is now like gushing blood, and the earth is seeping out blood, and dark is seeping, oozing nasty stuff, and it keeps flickering back and forth, light on, light off, light on, over and over and over and over and over again. It's like, I don't know. And I say, this is the part of the story where you just simply experience your body. And it's not a puppet. It's you. Your body is you. And your body is special and it is beautiful. And we don't need to know everything. We don't need to have to understand everything. And right now, the only thing you need to do is just appreciate yourself. I'm going to simplify it all the way down to appreciate yourself. You show me your inquisitive mind is going to be hypothesizing and dreaming and pretending and exploring creatively every single idea in this, to understand your identity. And in the end, all you're supposed to do is just appreciate yourself. So you're so much more harmonically balanced. Man, you're gonna notice big time. Like all of your energy bodies are working in unison right now. Don't worry if just it already is happening, okay? And get into your heart center is a really good recommendation. And explore moving your thoughts into your heart. Ask your heart a question and see what the answer is that comes back. Not in your head, but from in your heart. It'd be really good for you to start getting to know the way your heart processes ideas, okay? And not your head. Okay, well, there we go. That's pretty neat. Thank you so much for this super unique experience. Just a little disoriented. All right. Thank you so much, Alexis, for this. I'm really glad you explored this session with me, and thank you for your open-mindedness to share. And for those of you watching, if you're interested in exploring a psychic session with me, please visit me at my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. Thank you all for watching, and I wish you all a wonderful day.